Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me here in my shop on March 15th. The Ides of March it is. And what I plan to do with this radio today is not too complicated. Just do the alignment steps for the two shortwave bands. It's not very involved. And then move on to trying to figure out what's going on with FM and get that going. And then that's pretty much the end of the road. But let's start off here. I have had the set running for 10 minutes or so. It's on the broadcast band, just checking for its operation. So that's at 1200, and my signal generator happens to be running over here at 600. You can't quite see it, but 600 is the number. So I'm getting a harmonic out of there, picking up over here. Okay, so that's fine. So I think the good thing to start with would be the shortwave bands. Just run through them quickly and see what they pick up. This is really not the right time of day at all. We do have a shortwave antenna. Now, oddly enough, the instructions here for doing the alignment say fashion a loop of several turns of wire and radiate signal into loop of antenna, which is what this going on here. Well, that's great for the broadcast, but it's the same thing all the way through for all the shortwave bands too. So you're trying to radiate a shortwave signal from the signal generator into the radio through the AM antenna. That's what it says. So here I have a real connection to an outdoor shortwave antenna. What should I do with this? So I think I will hook this up to the shortwave antenna inputs on the back of the radio here. And I'm going to guess, I'm not going to guess. One side should be ground and one side should be the conductor. Let's take a look. What it says here. Yeah, dipole on the top, ground to the right, antenna to the left. We'll hook it up that way. Antenna here. You can hear the radio on. That's putting the ground on. So maybe we'll leave that off just for now until we get a station and we can play around a little bit. And we won't worry about the signal generator. So we're going to shortwave. That was actually broadcast I was doing that on. Let's repeat a little of that. So antenna off, antenna on, ground. We need to pick up a station before we decide whether that ground should be connected or not. If we can pick up the station. Shortwave 1, 5 megahertz up to, it starts here, it goes the other way. So we're starting around, I don't know, 1.7 megahertz, just above the broadcast band, and coming up to 5. We're not going to hear anything on this, I wouldn't think. Just noises. I think we're going to hear much, so we'll go to shortwave 2. Volume's pretty good. Shortwave 2. Volume much lower. Oh my. So that looks like 9.3. It's a very strong signal, shortwave signal at 9.330, I think. Pretty certain that's what we've got here. So it's working. Let's try the ground now. Very sharp tuning. Okay, so what else we can get here? We'll go up through the 31 meter band. Very quiet. That signal is very loud. Let's turn this up. Oh, so I hear the background noise, but I hear that hum. Hmm. .25 meter band. It would almost seem that the AVC is not working. We can figure that out pretty quick here. This meter. There's no AVC response happening here. I've got the radio running on low voltage. Let's give it the whole shot here. Maybe we're getting some weird behavior. Weird behavior's right. It's very hard to tune this radio. Let's get a stronger station. Let's go back down to that big one. Radio working better on the lower supply voltage. Still is a little low. 97 because I left this down. $110. What is going on? This is not going to be so simple. Tiny movement in the meter.
De María Mori, el único pelotero, señores, en toda la historia de las Grandes Ligas en llegar a ocuparse a un cargo de la fama con votación y además la tierra.
Volume up very high to get that. So a very low output from the IF, not much to rectify and show on this meter. Alignment issue? Could well be. I think we need to go through the process of alignment before making a judgment that there's something else going on in here. But wow. Okay, so we will do that. So we're starting at 1.6 megacycles. Shortwave 1. Okay, shortwave 1. 1.6. Way down here. It's 2, 0.8, 0.7, 0.6. Right there. It will take off the outdoor antenna. Set the signal generator to 1600 kilocycles. Just change the lights here. Okay. 1.6. Hello. Okay, we got things right. Switch 1. This has to be 1.6. 987. 7. 1.7. 1.6 would be down here. It's not really marked. Kind of odd. Unless the end mark is supposed to be 1.6. Here. Let's do this at 1.7. Just to double check things. 2. 1.9, 1.8, 1.7. 1.7. Yeah. Now because I'm feeding this into this loop around here, I have no idea what kind of signal strength relates to good working radio doing it this way. Why would they have it done this way? Just seems a little odd to me. Okay. Now we're supposed to make some adjustments here. I still have a lot of volume on there and virtually no ABC value. I'm going to stop and just rearrange my camera a little bit here to make this easier. Okay, let's carry on and see what happens. Now again, in the instructions they're not specifying which is doing an oscillator and which is just doing RF stuff. Oh. We gotta do something else first. Something I haven't done yet. Clean those switches. Okay. Switch off. Shut down. Gotta clean the switches. Oh, I flipped the radio over hoping to get easy access to the switches, but no. They're not accessible this way. So I'm gonna flip it back and see how we can do this. Okay, let's take a close look from above. It's very, very typical of these radios to use the terminals of the switches, the slide switches, as a place to build much of the radio. So, true to form, down here is the top of the switch, A switch. You know what? This one, sure. This is the phono switch, so not much happening here radio-wise. So they've managed to mount one adjustment. This is for the broadcast band. The actual broadcast button lines up with these guys. These three here, which I've already adjusted. So looking at a bigger button, switch, slide switch, don't call it a button. I'm looking for where exactly the contacts are. So I think this little piece of circuit board has just been mounted above the switch. I think the switch is down here. And then the switch is mounted on top of the main circuit board here. So there's various ways to get cleaning fluids into the switch. It can go past the terminals. You see these little terminals here? They're often gappy. Sometimes there's a hole. There's a hole right there. I just moved the hole. How do you like that? It's like a cartoon. Just pick up the hole and move it. Okay, no hole. Often the best way is in through the end, the open end. Let's see if the open end, if there's an open end. Okay, it's going to be a little out of focus perhaps. I'm quite certain that's an open end. Let me move the switch. What happened there? This thing kind of popped out and never went back. That doesn't make sense. Let's look, see if I can look at another one here. Pull out this tube. I know the focus isn't really ideal, but the lighting's not so hot either. Let's see if I can do something about that. Not particularly. Look down under there. Too close for the focus. Okay, let me operate a switch or two. There we go. So that's the sliding part that's going to carry the contacts, the moving contacts across the non-moving contacts. So that would look to me like it's wide open. If I can tip the radio up, spray down there. You can actually see one of the contacts on that one. Okay, now some of these are really hard to access. Oh boy. But I can probably still get cleaner in there. One, by hook or by crook. If I use alcohol, I can really be pretty liberal with it. It spills all over the place. It doesn't really matter that much. Okay, that's the name of the game. Like I mentioned before, I don't think there's too much risk in spilling alcohol around. So I need to get under this one. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. Just do it like that. In she goes. And then I gotta get under this one. Oh boy, now that's a toughie. There's almost no clearance behind the IF can there. Now mind you, gravity will make it spill into where I want it to go. So if I just drip it above, the switches are lined right up with these adjustments, so I know where they are. One. So, the idea of this is to just get so much in there, some of it's got to get to where it needs to go. That's a pretty messy operation. See many other options here. Practicing with the straw. So those are easy. You have to use one hand to tip this back, stabilize it. And then I've got to, for that switch, come in this way. And then this one. Put this light on it here. It's probably too much light for the camera. He's splashing around in there. It's a real soak down to get this to work. So it's just pouring in the alcohol alone. That won't do it. You have to get the action going on the switch. So we're going to dose these rather liberally. Hope the heck I'm right about everything being impervious to alcohol, including the straw I'm using. That's a lot of alcohol there. It's probably going to drip out the end of this large straw. Yeah, so the straw has emptied itself out. Okay, it's really the tough ones I should do first. Get this the heck out of here. Alright, well, in all my excitement, I will knock it down. I could have shortened up on the straw, maybe. Okay, first one to do, this one. Oh, just coming running right out the bottom. Going everywhere. Just it's pouring out onto my bench. That's definitely putting out the alcohol, that's for sure. I don't need that now. Because there's not much surface tension with alcohol. Could this hurt some stuff? Do I even need that great big straw? It's going this way. Well, there's a ton of it in there. It's come through onto the backing paper. Yeah. That's everywhere. Okay. Hand is stuck. That's a lot. Break them. The alcohol's just shooting out. So this button used to not catch, but it sure is catching now. So it's helped the mechanism, but the fluid is still in there. Don't think I want to turn it on until the fluid has evaporated. I have set a radio on fire a long time ago. Just a very small fire. Ooh, okay. So I think that's probably got it. Again, because it's not on, we can't really tell. Extra sound when you're pushing the FM is with the button held down is the mechanism going back and forth here, the gear shifter for the knob. That'll fix the FM. Huh, wouldn't that be something? Okay, going to give it a few minutes to evaporate away. Should put a little fan on it maybe. Okay, without a doubt, this will be dried because it's been quite a while. And my day is not going so well today. My day's going okay. This project work in here is not going okay. Switch it off. Speaker's still connected. No signal generator connected. Let's see what happens here. Start with broadcast. Oh, not plugged in. Try to remember to unplug these things when I'm doing stuff to them. There we go. As I mentioned, I usually like... Oh, I'm not going to get too far without this tube. I usually like having the unit on and working the buttons while I'm cleaning them so you can hear the effect. I just find that a little more reassuring. Couldn't do that this time. Okay, so we're on broadcast band. What was that clicking and popping in the radio just now? Seems fine. It really wasn't much of a trouble here. We'll go to shortwave 1. Still need quite a bit of volume here. Should have cleaned the volume control while I was doing that. Didn't I look into that and there was no way to get cleaning fluid in? Maybe it's not the volume control. No, don't start getting all these kinds of troubles. Is that what it was? Clip lead dragging on the chassis. That's all it was. I guess you could just barely see that. This clip lead just dragging on top of the can here. That was what we were hearing. Clip lead to nowhere except wrapped around the antenna there. Okay, wild goose chases. So the radio's responding to lots of stuff here. Let's stuff with this bit. Noise signals. Why did it go quiet there? Pretty consistent. Shortwave 2. That's pretty noisy. Volume almost full. Wow. And I failed to clean this one. Okay, FM. Oh my gosh, I hear something. Excellent. I think I'm getting confused with another radio because I'm doing 3 radios at once here right now. I think I'm getting confused. Maybe this one always worked poorly on FM. That's, I think, the case. That's right. That's right. Okay, it's another one that's dead on FM. Okay, not to worry too much about FM. Just from the button point of view. This guy's still not good. Okay, we gotta get this guy better. We have to get him better. I'm going to concentrate on that one switch. Okay, so as opposed to the alcohol dousing, I'm going to use this product here, which I'm not promoting in any way. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. And a nice long hose. Hopefully we can get it right into the spot. Okay, take your time here. There's no better way to guarantee a radio has no power in it than to pull the plug right out. Even though I have switches that are power switches that are taking care of that. This is the hardest one to get cleaner into. Maybe that's simply why. So this has a bit of a blasting effect when it comes out at the end, which can be helpful. Just trying different angles here. That's pretty good. That's really good. Okay, let's give it a good blast. That's a lot. It's a very expensive cleaner. Okay, let's get it down here like this. Sprayed it right through. Okay, we're going to try again. It didn't stick. We're going to try it again. Okay, plug it in. Power on. Tube is out again. Put the tube in. Full power. Sounds like somebody's car running, doesn't it? Okay, that proves the radio is functioning. Here we go. So the loud pop is probably a capacitor charge being discharged or something like that happening. But as for it being bad actor, I don't think so. I think the switch is not causing any problems. Volume way, that's full. I have no antenna hooked up, so that can be very misleading. Let's put the antenna on here. Okay, we'll just put on the one lead. Now we got lots of stuff coming here. Where are we tuning? We're tuning Shortwave 2, so just above the 31 meter band, right in here. Hello, somebody, anybody? Okay, they're looking for a station because I want to do the button test with a station. Where'd they all go? So I'm going to connect the antenna ground here. Turn it up a lot higher now. Where? I thought there were stations here before. Okay, so we're going to use a noise signal. Very, very sensitive tuning. Is it consistent? Every time we go back, we hear exactly that. The button is working consistently. I think we can assume there's no problem. So where are we now? We're at, it's after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I have not had my lunch yet. Oh, that's interesting. Is that by some chance my signal generator over here? Yeah. Signal generator is tuned to 1.7 megahertz. and we're picking it up here close to 10 megahertz. Big ugly harmonic. Did I? Oh, you know what? You know what I've done? I've made a boo-boo. I thought I hooked up the antenna. I actually hooked up the signal generator. So let's get the actual antenna. It kind of looked the same. That's why I couldn't pick up a station. Okay. Okay. And I'm ramming a high level signal into the back of the radio from the signal generator, producing harmonics who knows where. Right out of the signal generator, or just overloading this radio with a whopper signal going into the antenna. Here we go. Okay, shortwave 2, 31 meter band, right down this way. Okay, I'm going to put the ground on my antenna. The balanced antenna feeding into an unbalanced cable that comes all the way into here from far, far away. Really tricky to tune this radio. It's good and rock solid. You can see how much volume I've got here. Quite a bit. Now, the thing about doing this is shortwave conditions change. They change daily. They change throughout the day, and from day to day. You never really know unless you check somehow how things are going. Let's try up around 11, around here. Finally, okay, I got something with some power behind it. Let's just try tuning this guy in. Good. There's going to be some fading from the signal itself. Let's see what kind of AVC this signal can generate. Just connecting the meter. Just the ground on. I'm going to get a copyright hit for that. I'm good for about 10 seconds of music. Nothing after that. Okay, we're watching the AVC meter. Yesterday we were getting a lot more voltage on it. So this is 15 volts. So we're looking at we're looking at almost 1 volt there. That's not very much. Now I'm going to tune the radio and we'll watch this meter. I mean, it's not going to go any higher. Yeah, I don't. That's 1.5 volts across the whole meter now. This is what a strong signal is able to do. Should be able to generate 8, 10 volts, maybe more. This is having trouble doing a volt on a strong signal. Okay. So, I guess we're getting a bit of volume. That kind of proves something. I don't know what. Alignment could be the issue with this radio. I think I'm ready. Oh my gosh, am I ready? think I gotta go eat my lunch before I take a good hard run at this radio. Yeah, that's a good idea. Stop for lunch. Okay, we're ready to go here. So we're going to start at 1.7 is where I'm going to dial up. We're on shortwave 1. This would be 1.7 here. Nothing happening. I don't have it connected. Okay, let's take off the antenna. Yeah, take off the antenna. Feed the signal generator into this loop I have here. Loop of wire. Okay. It's very weak. This is a very weak arrangement. Okay, this 15-volt scale now. So we're tuned right on 1.7. We're just above it here. Okay. First adjustment is A10 and A11. A10 and A11. A11. 12 and 10, so it's actually 10, 12, 11. Definitely those ones. First one is to do these in order. A10, then A11 for maximum deflection. Okay, so A10 is this one back here. Tiny slot. Okay, I'm in. Now watch the meter. This is an oscillator adjustment, so it's retuning the radio. I'm going to do the front one here. Sticky. Yeah, it's moving. Here a little bit. Interference all the time. Okay, I think that's about all I can get out of that. I think we go to the other end of the band. 4.9. We do A12. 4.9. Right here. Why not 4.8 where there's a dot? I want 4.9. There's no dot there. Yeah, well, we'll do 4.9. That's got to be 4.9. It's pretty strong. Pretty close. 4.87. So go up a little bit so I can figure out which way to turn the control. Someone knocking at my door. Okay, it turns out my granddaughter wants to do a video call with us. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Don't make a mistake now, you're rushing. We're at the other end of the band. And I need to tune in this one. Wow. Interesting. If this one sounds more like it doesn't sound like an oscillator. Hair trigger. So this must just be the sort of the RF side of things. Watching the meter. I think we definitely got a boost out of doing this. Pushing down too hard. Okay. Quick check here. Quick check. Okay, this is the wrong frequency band for this time of day. Okay, we're going to put the antenna on with the ground. Volume fading out over here. Come back. Okay, I can't pick anything up on that band this time of day anyway. Shortwave 2. I've only got 10 minutes, then I have a date with my granddaughter here. So now we go to 6.1 megahertz, which is located 876. So here's 6 and 6.5 again. Oh, there's a mark there. There's a mark there and a mark there. There's too many marks. That looks like 6.1 to me. 6.1. I'm doing A13 and A14. There's A14. Right up at the front here. And A13 towards the back. A14. Way up at the front. Not sure about this. Probably the same arrangement. Not much happening there. So I'm trying to interfere with the coils to identify them. Gotta be those. Okay, if it's the same pattern as the last one, it's 2 adjustments. I didn't do the signal generator. We are at 6.1. 6.1. Nothing. That's all I got. Very, very sharp tuning. There it is. Instead of 6.1, it's a little low. 6.085. so low. Oh, I've got the outdoor antenna connected. Don't forget to signal generator in through my loop. That's a lot better. Power down. Good. Double check the tuning. Tuning on here is easier. Yeah, that's all there is. So we want it to go up to 6.1 and advance this just a wee bit. Give it a little more power. Okay, we want to turn to find that. Right on by. I wonder if one's the oscillator and the other is the antenna adjustment at the top. Okay, we'll put this right on 6.1. We're almost there anyway. 6.1. Okay, eyes to the meter. There we are. Do this upper one now. Upper one. Not doing anything. Yes, it is. There we are. And the next thing, we dialed 17.9 and we do A15. A15 is here. The one in the middle, just like the other. Changes from doing coils to doing capacitor. Did I say it was 17.9? Here we go. 17.9. Again, we have to guess at where that is roughly. These little marks are. There's no marks at this end at all. So that's 17.9. Okay, don't hear a thing. Let's go up. 17.9. More power. $17.7. So I'm pretty sure what I'm adjusting is not an oscillator. Let's double check. Yeah. No. Maybe it is. Whoop. What happened there? What happened? We were getting lots of signal and suddenly there was a pop. And it went away. We're up very high on the volume for this band. Very little AVC output. But I am doing this thing. That's the video call starting without me. Very cool. Hey. Just pop back in. was that? It's just going up and down. It just retuned a little bit. Perhaps there's some spring tension left in the string here. I'm tuning it, leaving tension, and then the tension is managing to pull this because it's such a hair trigger. There's a bit of a pop with it, so that doesn't quite add up, but not sure what to think. Okay, quickly. Oh, she's come and gone as soon as I pushed on this, but is that a coincidence? So you move any of the wires in this area and it's going to cause the radio to operate a little differently. So that is... Huh. Something happening here. Something's becoming kind of microphonic. Some of that is just retuning, tuning it in and out. This wire is really sensitive. It goes down into here. This is just plastic. Not my hand, eh? It's just plastic. Not touching anything. Wow, can you do it? Can that happen? Plastic? I'm gonna have to run. Something going on right in there. Don't know what. Okay. Here I come, granddaughter. Okay, granddaughter visit is over. What a wild mouse she is. Now we're going to take a close look at the sensitive spot inside the radio. The radio's powered off. And my hand in front of the light. Sensitive area where I was dipping this plastic tool right into here, just without touching anything, and it was affecting the operation of the radio. Look at how easy it is to move that. So these are the terminals coming up from the switch. could still be just dirty switch problems. A little hard for me to maneuver the tool in the camera view. That terminal's pretty stiff. Let me just check a few here. Yeah, it moves a little bit. So what has me really interested in this is that the band appears to demonstrate low sensitivity. And when things happen, a pop or whatever, something happens, it seems to go up in sensitivity. That makes me think there's something going on here, right in here. What would that be? Kind of a conductive spot here. Now maybe I should have the radio on while I'm doing this. Is that actually open right through to the wire? Yeah, I gotta turn the radio on, just in case that is. It's actually worked itself right through. Is that possible? Anything is possible. No good explanations for stuff that's happening. So, okay, let me turn on the radio here. Didn't notice these kinds of sensitivities with any other band. Might be a little hard to get this little camera in there while the radio's operating. So that kind of sound usually tells me, or suggests to me, that there's an input, like a high impedance input to an amplifier that has come unloaded, or it's open. Something has happened like that. Is that sensitive to this? I'm hitting that particular spot. No, doesn't seem to be. So where has the radio itself gone here? The switch is still acting up. I think that's probably all this is. Sensitivity is all gone. Not all gone. This thing just needs more hosing. More hosing. Now, you know what? I don't think it's this one that I sprayed. I think I... So what I'm trying to do is figure out which switch is the sensitive one. It should be the one I've pushed. Of course. Set in here. Over here. Where'd all that sensitivity go? Do them both. Now it's not. Cool. Well, what is so loose I can move it like that? Okay, with the radio on. This wire here, this red one. The terminal moves around a lot. So you can imagine the switch, the slide switch underneath is crossing these terminals. And sometimes it's sitting on the part that's inside the switch, and sometimes it's not. I would say if a terminal wiggles like that, then the switch is not sitting on it. Wait a minute. But did I just... Where is that red wire supposed to go? It's not to this terminal. Where is it going? Is it broken off? That sounds ridiculous. So, is there something else soldered to that terminal? Not quite clear what I'm seeing here. Let me stop for a minute, get a really good image of that area. Okay, with the radio operating, the wire in question is right here, this red one. I think there's, all that's happening I think is it's just wiggling the cover on the wire, but it seemed to me I was able to put the tool between that little wire tail it's probably just a visual. That seems pretty solid now. Yeah, so the wire's in there. Look, I'm wiggling this thing around. Nothing's happening in the radio. This is the band that we're listening to. Okay, pushing the button up and down. Doesn't make any difference at all. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. Tuning a bit. That's probably the signal generator, for sure. Causing a small rise in the AVC voltage. So again, the radio sounds like it's not working with much AVC, but you know, that's a preferred way to listen to shortwave for me. I find the AVC is terribly annoying on shortwave. So yeah, broken wire, no. What about all that crazy sensitivity that was in there? Let me just get to the edge of it. Turn it down. Okay, is this thing still as sensitive? Very, very fine wires here, right over here. See that? Coming off these coils. I need a little careful with my. Now, radio just went quiet. Let me just retune. Yeah, it's just a tuning thing, I think. Or what again? It could be that. It's so hair trigger tuning. It could be that. This is the spring I'm talking about. So when you're tuning the radio, you're pulling on this spring. I will be talking about a variation here you'd never see, but since things are so hair trigger, maybe just some lubrication in the tuning system. Mechanics will settle this problem down of the radio retuning itself. Okay, sensitivity check. Over here. Not particularly. Watch out for the wires. over here. This is the band we're listening to. So I wouldn't be surprised to move any of these wires. Well, where was that microphonic effect coming from? It's on this white wire. Well, nothing's like popping into a whole new deal. Well, just did. I think it's one thing if it kind of smoothly drifts around, it's another thing if it's popping. Wow. Though rapidly passing a signal through the reception window, if you like, of the radio very rapidly can make it sound like it's popping. All in all, I got no clue what's going on here. Let's just go back and do a little reality check. Reality check. Okay, checking reality. We have a signal being sent into this loop up here. Don't know how much is actually going to get to the radio that way. Strong signal going there. Fair bit of volume to get that out of the radio. I'm going to move the signal generator. And first I'm going to turn it down. See what we can hear now. Nothing. There it is. Just barely. Okay, so that's just barely with the loopy way of doing this. And we'll put the antenna on. Ground and antenna. Okay, not touching the volume. Signal strength went down by a factor of 100. Let me tune the signal generator. See what this sounds like. Sounds like nothing. Okay, we'll go up. Really? What did I do? Did I put the antenna on instead of the signal generator? No. Signal generator feeding right into the antenna. Oh, I put the volume turned right down. Son of a gun. So, in a well-working receiver, shortwave receiver, with a signal of that level fed right into the antenna, this should be just screaming. We should have a nice big ABC voltage way up here. And we got almost nothing. So I'm trying to assess if there's really something wrong here. It sounds like an easy thing, but best way is to actually try to tune in stations from an antenna. For comparison's sake, we'll go to the other band. So I'm going to knock down the signal generator here by a factor of 10. Can't hear it here. Go to the other band. We're right around 5 megahertz. Now, this is what you should expect. That's down by a factor of 10. So if we put it back up to where it was, this is what would happen. So, okay, add this up. Low or no AVC. Signal volume coming out of the speaker, low. That suggests to me bad output from the IF. Why would that be? Any one of a million reasons. Defective component, very likely. Something involved in the front end of the tuning on this band. Something like some kind of a capacitor, and then there's those little capacitors here, but they're fairly reliable ones. But nothing is totally reliable, unfortunately. Well, I think I got to think about this a little bit. I think we've hit the end of the road here. Is there some kind of relationship with the FM problem, which also exhibits low? I just don't think they share much circuitry until later in the radio. And later in the radio, they share that circuitry with the broadcast band and Shortwave 1, both of which seem to be sensitive and functioning okay. So something's going on with the FM band. Something's going on with the top shortwave band. Probably not related, but a very similar outcome. Of course, weak output is, that is the outcome of most every problem, isn't it? Yeah, I think I got to stop here today on this. The saga really does continue with this radio. I was just turning to start working on the video from today. This is on Shortwave 1, and all of a sudden, it just went silent. Before that, there was the atmospheric interference type sounds. So what happened here? Most likely thing is the button. Dirty volume, no. So is it a related problem? It's the same thing now. I'm hearing it on Shortwave 1. I'm hearing anything. I'll turn it right up. It's got that open sound to it. Let's do some tube wiggling here. I got this tube up on an extender still. Okay, we're going to push the button right down. Well, isn't this a fine mess? No sensation the radio's working. Oh! You know what? Now it's in the state where it doesn't produce AVC. Poking. Well, the last video clip ended rather suddenly because my computer hard drive got jammed, which happens regularly to me when I'm doing these videos, and it just stops recording. So what you missed was me poking around for another 2 or 3 minutes with a stick, just trying everything, looking for stuff, and then finally banging here, banging there. Nothing changing the state of operation of the radio at that point. So, don't know what it is. Could be anything. Could be everything. Could be nothing. I don't know. So that's the end of the video for today. Tomorrow I'm going to have to try to pursue this intermittent problem. Yikes. Yikes. See ya.